When I was growing up, I was taken to a lovely little church. And I remember when I was little being told, and I think they told me this in a really encouraging way. They told me that God is everywhere, that wherever I go, whatever I do, God is there with me. Whatever I say, whatever I think, whatever I feel, God knows it all. And I think they said it as just this great encouragement that wherever you are, God is there. Do not worry. He knows exactly what is going on with you. But the problem with this is that even from a young age, it used to scare me, because I used to think, oh, God knows everything about me, even the things that aren't very good. And when I became a Christian in my late teens, I kind of carried this fear into my relationship with God and into my prayer life. And so when I would come to pray, I had no trouble praying for my family, for my friends, for anything that didn't involve me. But when it was to do with me, I was like, well, God, you know me better than I know myself. You know exactly what I need. And actually, because you know me much better than I know myself, you know all of that stuff that I've done that I'm not proud of. And it used to make me just back away and think, oh, how could God want to hear from me with all of that rubbish that I've done? And he knows about it. I might be able to pretend to everybody else, but I can't pretend to God. And so in the early days of my Christianity, I struggled. And then I came across a passage in Mark's Gospel, Mark chapter 10, and it's the story of Jesus' encounter with blind Bartimaeus. And I came across it again recently. And I want to just read it to us now. Mark chapter 10, starting at verse 46. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and said, call him. So they called to the blind man, cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you. Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked him. The blind man said, Rabbi, I want to see. Go, said Jesus, your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. Now, three things spring out from this passage to me. The first is that blind Bartimaeus had heard about Jesus, and he had the courage and the confidence to call out. Even though people around him were saying, shut up, sit down, there's no way that he wants to hear from you. In fact, when they told him to shut up, that spurred him on even more. He was like, right, no, I'm calling again Jesus. So he had the courage to call out to Jesus. The second thing we see is that Jesus heard him. That there were crowds and crowds of people, and yet Jesus heard him calling out to him, and that this guy was important to him. And so Jesus invites him to come and to meet with him. And then the third thing that we see, which is amazing, is that Jesus knows everything about this guy. He knows that he's blind. He knows his whole backstory. He knows everything that is going on because he is God. And yet he still asks him this question. He still says, what do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you? Isn't that incredible? That Jesus wants to know what is on the guy's heart. And so I want to encourage us today. I want to encourage us to be like blind Bartimaeus. I want to encourage us to have the confidence to call out to God, to spend time in prayer with him. And to know, just as when blind Bartimaeus called out to Jesus, Jesus heard him. To know that when we call out to God, he hears us. He knows us. He loves the sound of our voice. He's like, fantastic. Hello, I'm here. Let's meet together. Let's connect. And he asks us because he's interested, because he wants to know what is on our heart. What can I do for you today? What is it that you want me to do? He wants to hear what is on our heart. He wants to hear what it is that he can be involved with in our lives. God doesn't go crashing into our lives, right, Cath, I need to change this, I need to do that, you're a muppet, this needs to be sorted. He's like, Cath, come to me. I want you to invite me to be at work in your life. I want to know what is on your heart. And so I want to encourage us at the end of this devotional, just sit with God. Just say, hi God, it's me. Have the confidence to do that. And then begin to unpack with him what is on our hearts. Because he says to you and me today, what is it that I can do for you? What is it that God can do for us? Go for it. Have the confidence to sit in his presence and know that he loves you. Know that he listens and know that he is God Almighty, all powerful, and can do anything and everything.